Hello and welcome to a new video. Today we're gonna take a look at Gholdengo. Gholdengo is one of the best Pokemon in VGC, but now maybe also in Pokemon Go. Having access to the buffed Astonish, making this Pokemon a very interesting pick for the current meta, but also there's one Pokemon at least, minimum, that's going to make it a bit difficult for this Pokemon to function, which of course we have on our own team as well, which is going to be the Rhyperior. So today we're gonna take a look at buffed Astonish Gholdengo, and I can tell you already, the buff definitely helps this Pokemon out quite a bit. We're gonna see already one matchup, so it's completely gonna change a bit here as well. For example, here against the Landorus, we have so much more fast move potential in terms of like farming down opponents. It is madness, and that's going to help us out quite often here as well today. But also, Gholdengo has one of the best defensive typings, and this is one of the things that makes it so overpowered in the main series games right now. But the issue here in Pokemon Go, typings don't work the same. For example, Gholdengo would have two double immunities in, actually it's two, I think it's actually 3 immunities in the main series games by poison, normal and fighting, but in Pokemon Go you're still gonna take damage from those, and that makes Gholdengo already a bit worse than, for example, in the main series games in terms of the typings, just because they work a bit differently in Pokemon Go. But still, this Pokemon has a lot of potential and is still with a good typing there. Very cool in the Master League, allowing you to resist the Dragon and Fairy type moves, which is really cool. Sadly, no real fighting type Pokemon available there, and also no real normal type attacks in the Open Master League. But it's fine, we're gonna be able to win the first battle here. So, this Pokemon, Gholdengo, for sure something that's kind of easy even to get. You can get it, I think, for free. I think you just have to like transfer Pokemon to Pokemon Home or something like this. I forgot what issue was that you have to do. But yeah, this Pokemon for sure going to be one that you can get quite easily for the Open Master League without having to pay anything, which is really good because honestly, from like there are not that many free-to-play Pokemon, but especially this season I feel like gave you a lot of new Pokemon that are now top tier meta that are free-to-play, which is really good. So basically last season I made a video about if the Master League is still playable as a free-to-play player basically, and I came to the conclusion that is very difficult to play like this. But I might actually revisit this kind of type of video here later as well on this channel. We want to take a look at a no legendary team as well, because there are quite a lot more good ones available, like the Gholdengo, like the Rhyperior. They got some other buffs as well, like Floor just got a decent buff, which is also a non-legendary Pokemon, of course. We want to have Dragonite still being very strong there. Ursaluna got a buff with Swift, which is definitely a Pokemon that we might want to take a look at as well here. There are even other Pokemon that are a bit more hidden, like Excadrill having Mudslap, or even the Mamoswine having Mudslap. So honestly, the meta itself definitely shifted towards more the non-legendary Pokemon, which is very good. I like in general the meta shift this season. And here we're gonna take a look at what Gholdengo can do. As we'll see here already, this Pokemon is doing quite some good damage against a lot of the opponents, and we can already win the second battle here as the opponent decides to forfeit. Our backline can be a bit weak against Yveltal, but in Elite it's going to be a fine Pokemon. They swap onto the Rhyperior, and we're gonna try to take advantage of this by going straight for the close combat to force a shield immediately, as we can swap out straight away afterwards into our own Rhyperior. We're gonna do some super effective Mudslap damage, as they're gonna get some damage against me as well. We have a 14 attack variant, which is not ideal, but honestly I've never even got a 15 attack variant of this Pokemon, so yeah, that's definitely something that if you have, it's very good. But here the opponent is going to actually run the move Surf, which kinda surprised me, but it's going to be okay. Surf definitely a bit more difficult to play nowadays, as you're gonna need 5 more energy, of course, but yeah, 10 more total, and they go for 2 of them, I guess. And so here I make a bit of a mistake. I decided to go for the bait first, which did not work out, and so the opponent is going to be able to now take the Rock Wrecker, and I kinda wasted one breaking swipe, and I would have liked to have the breaking swipe against the final Pokemon from the opponent, which is going to be that Necrozma to try to get the debuff. As you saw already, we didn't get the breaking swipe debuff, which also, like, of course, it would have landed against the Necrozma, would have been very important for this matchup, because he would have survived it a bit easier. But now we have to hope that we can somehow still catch a move with the smaller switch timer there. It's only 50 seconds now instead of 60 seconds compared to last season there. And so we have maybe still a chance to swap out in time. Let's see, we cannot. And now our only hope is that Rhyperior is bulky enough to survive the fast moves, which it can't, and so a good game to the opponent. Zacian against Xerneas. This is actually quite an interesting matchup, and also would be the best matchup kind of for the Gholdengo. Gholdengo, resist, Fairy, resist, the fighting typing as well. So this would be definitely a very favorable matchup for us, but we don't have the matchup on right now, but maybe a bit later. Maybe the opponent wants to use a shield here. We'll find out. We can win the zero shield scenario with the Zacian guaranteed, and so that's kind of what we're gonna try to go for, trying to force a shield from the opponent, which does work out quite well, and we can swap out into the Rhyperior. Was it smart? Actually, it was, because he's gonna get out the opponent's Kyogre, which I'm totally fine with, and so we can at least avoid it with our final Pokemon, the Gholdengo. While this is not a good matchup at all, the opponent still decides to go for a Surf here for whatever reason, which is going to be totally okay for us, because now we can go for the full farm down here, and we still have 2 shields left. In comes the Xerneas again. This is going to be a matchup where we're gonna use still 1 shield, because even though Moonblast is resisted, it's still going to be a move that is going to hit me for quite some decent damage, and so I rather want to use a shield here and hope that there's something in the back that we can deal with, and it's going to be the Primarina. And you might think that's going to be a horrible matchup. They have a Waterfall as a fast move. You're wrong, because we still have our Zacian here, and as I decided to use a shield, which they had to do as well, I would have been able to go for 2 moves. We're gonna be able to now win this battle, and we can move on to the next opponent. Let's see what they're going to have. We're going to have a Ho-Oh in the lead. How do I play this matchup usually? I usually go for 7 fast moves with my quick attack Zacian here, go for the wild charge, try to get the shield or the knockout, and then I go for 2 more and then swap out. Why 2 more? Because now they're going to have the Sacred Fire, which is the ideal one for them to go for, but also it's going to allow you to usually sneak in an extra fast move, which we were able to do here as well, and that is going to be quite nice, as now also the switch lock is unaligned by 10 seconds, and that can be quite important, as we may be even going to see here right now. We're going to get the attack drop onto the opponent's Zygarde complete. We're going to still be able to hit them with super effective damage from those breaking swipes. We're gonna get not another one, but it's going to be okay. We're going to maybe even use a shield here against a crunch, which is not ideal for us either. We can overfarm by a bit, and we can swap out now to catch the move onto our Zacian. Issue here is that the opponent can immediately swap out into that Ho-Oh. The opponent still has some energy on this Pokemon as well, and we have to hope that we can still go for a double wild charge in order to knock out this Pokemon or get him at least quite low. And we are going to be able to get to this double wild charge, which is lovely for us, because now we're gonna get a ton of damage onto them, and we might be able to just rely on our Gholdengo for a sweep at the end. We can let the move go through, and we're gonna keep our shield, as we're gonna get 1 fast move advantage here guaranteed with our Gholdengo, knocking out the first Pokemon. What do they gonna swap into? Of course it's Yveltal. Like, out of every single Pokemon, Yveltal is the only one that we would have not been able to beat here. And of course we're gonna get this one. We can still go for a Shadow Ball here against the opponents. Zygarde, I can go still for the full farm down, and with this we're gonna get out even the Focus Blast. Is this enough to knock them out? It is neutral, and it's gonna do a ton of damage, but just barely not enough, and so we lose here. Was also a Shundo variant, by the way, which is quite ridiculous. So, how do you play against Ho-Oh? I already told you before, we're going to go for 7 fast moves, go for a wild charge, go for 2 more, and swap out. This is going to allow you to basically guarantee catch a move, because they usually don't go anywhere further, but apparently I was wrong, and the opponent has the same team as before. What is going on here? Ho-Oh and most likely Double Dragon in the back was something that I was more expecting anyway, and so we can go for the next Breaking Swipe, trying to kind of stall the switch clock a bit. We're gonna see the Breaking Swipe coming through, getting the double attack drop, and now we actually would be even able to survive an Earthquake, because the opponent has basically a very low attack stat already. While it's super effective and stab, I can expect that we would be able to still survive it. I can go for the Breaking Swipe. We have 2 stored here, I think, at this point. This is gonna get them kind of low, and we can swap out of here to catch a crunch onto our Zacian, which can easily take this move. But no, it was an Outrage. For whatever reason, I didn't know that they would run Earthquake Outrage. That's kind of a ridiculous moveset. But we're gonna be able to go for 1 wild charge here against the opponent, trying to force the knockout, which we can get, and now it depends on what they have in the back, and it's going to be that Dialga. I'm gonna overfarm a bit, because I tried to get to 2 close combat later on, and so first one is coming through. I'm gonna try to swap out now into my Rhyperior, go for the Breaking Swipe to hope for the debuff. 50% chance, do we get the debuff here? We do, and that's going to be insanely important, because now Gholdengo was already able to basically resist every single move from the opponent, unless it would be Thunder, which nobody is running, and now it's going to be even a bit better, but sadly the opponent was able to still clear the debuff, which is fine, because no matter what they want to do here, they should be kinda down, because we can hit this Shadow Ball even through the shield apparently, and we can win the battle. Next opponent, Flodge is in the lead. Again, kind of very similar actually compared to the matchup against the other Pokemon there, the other fairy type, the Xerneas, as he should be able to win the Zero Shields here, at least what I thought, but actually we might not be able to. We're gonna be able to go for one a wild charge here, but they actually generate energy faster than I do, and so they're gonna go for the back-to-back disarming voice, which is a very smart move by them. So Florge is for sure a Pokemon that I have to build now as well. I have to see if I have a good IV variant of this Pokemon, because Florge is going to be top tier for the open Master Lake here. For sure Pokemon that you want to have. With the recent buff, it is so much better, and so for sure a must-have to get there. We want to still get another wild charge off against the opponent's Ho, and we actually swap out, which I thought was kinda maybe intelligent. Turns out it wasn't, but that's for a different story there. As they're gonna have the Palkia coming in here, and honestly, it was a bit unfortunate here. The opponent was able to get a move off, or like debuff off us, and this is going to impact, of course, the matchup by quite a bit, I have to say. This is going to make it really, really bad for us, as now we are not going to be able to knock them out, which we would have been able to do so. Then we would have not needed to use a shield here, and basically, yeah, if we didn't get the if we didn't get the debuff there, we should have been most likely fine, but we didn't, and so like it is sadly going to be a loss here, and there is not a lot that I can do about it, because they are going to be able to knock me out here, and there's not a lot that I can really do to retaliate against them, and so good game to the opponent there. There's not a lot that I can do. I still can try at least. Let's see here. Maybe we can still do something. We can try our best for Station just so... Oh, we get actually a move off. Do we win the CMP type? Maybe this can still win us the battle here? No, we don't. And so we're gonna lose, and that is going to be fine. Good game to the opponent, and we can move on to the second to last battle. So let's see what our next opponent is going to have here. It's going to be a problem that they have here. It's going to be Landorus. Landorus is an issue for this team. Landorus is a Pokemon that can kind of beat everything on this team, and honestly, Landorus is a Pokemon that I kind of want to take a look at again, because I'm fairly certain it didn't get a nerf, and that is something that I also can see based on how it plays right now. While yes, you take a bit longer to get to your charge moves, it also still going to be very, very good for you that you're going to be able to get more fast move pressure in, and it's going to allow you to basically do a bit more in those matchups against, for example, Dialga or Rhyperior, in order to farm them down, as you kind of only want to hit like with a one Sensia Storm ideally and farm down the rest. But anyway, we're going to see here the Kyogre coming in. I'm going to go for the close combat, because both moves are going to knock them out. It doesn't really matter which I'm going to go for. And at least with the close combat, I'm not going to showcase that I only have wild charging close combat. And yeah, sadly, Landorus is going to be a bit of a pain here. I'm gonna go for one close combat, get the shield. I can go for another close combat. Yeah, we'll be able to still survive this here. They are gonna let the move go through. And now it has to be something in the back, like Heatran maybe. Heatran I'm most likely gonna still be able to win here against, but it's Xerneas. Xerneas is, I know, sounds kind of wild. Actually not a Heatran, but a Pokemon that's going to have X2 close combat, which they don't go for, which is very smart by you, because this is going to allow them to easily survive also a Rock Wrecker, and so the opponent honestly played it perfectly. I'm battling actually against a lot of very good opponents here as well. I'm at like 2400 elo range, which is I think nearly leaderboards as well already, so yeah, very good opponents that I'm battling here. Next opponent, final one for today, we're going to have a Rhyperior in the lead, going to be a Shadow variant as well, which I would love to have, but I don't, and all of mine that I got are garbage, and so I'm not going to be able to build one. Anyway, I can swap into my own one at least here, which is a normal one, but it's shiny, which is kind of all that matters. Fun fact actually, I got up to rank 3 in the world with this Rhyperior before, back in the day when Master League kind of was first available. I think it was like season 3 or something of the Go Battle League. I actually got up to rank 3 in the world with Rhyperior, and the 2 people above me were actually cheating, so actually Rhyperior got me to rank 1 in the world before, so shout out to you, Rhyperior, this exact Rhyperior as well, by the way. So, was already kind of fun back in the day with, I think it was also Mud Slap, before it got double buffed actually, because you were able to just fully farm down Dialgas, which was really fun. There was Melmetal still in the meta, and the other Pokemon were like Giratina, which you still were able to hit with a Rock Wrecker, and I actually forgot what else was there. Like, it was a lot of Togekiss, which you also were able to hit with a Rock Wrecker. So yeah, back in the day, Rhyperior was one of my favorite Pokemon. Actually, I think there's a video of Zionic from back in the day where he showcased my team before I did even start YouTube and anything like this. So very cool thing. You know what's also a very cool thing is how nice the matchup is for our Gholdengo here, as we are going to be able to let the move go through. It's going to be a wild charge. That's not ideal actually. It's the worst possible move that they can go for, and so yeah, we're actually gonna go down. Doesn't matter, it doesn't, we can farm them down and win the battle, and that's going to be it for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, feel free to leave a like, and I will see you then. Bye bye.